So in today's video, we're going to take a look at what's going to happen if Sweden tries to form an empire in 2024. And they're going to be invading some of their neighboring countries in order to form the empire. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Now, as we can see here, the most vulnerable country for Sweden to invade is going to be Denmark. And yeah, just like that, we can see that Sweden declared war on Denmark. And now the Swedish military is on its way. We can see that the Swedish troops are now pushing into Denmark. And unfortunately for Denmark, because their capital city was near to Sweden, Copenhagen was taken. And with the fall of their capital city, we can see that eventually all of Denmark is now under the Swedish control. And well, yeah, in a peace treaty, we can see that all of Denmark got completely annexed by the Swedish Empire. But the Swedish Empire is just getting started. Also, after the invasion of Denmark, Greenland got its independence. But yeah, anyways, the Swedish are gonna have to militarize their country because as of now, they're surrounded by some pretty strong countries. They're also gonna have to build their navy. So yeah, after many years of militarization and stabilization, we can see that the Swedish Empire is now ready for another war. And if you haven't already guessed, now the Swedish Empire declares war on Norway. And now things are not looking good for Norway. We can see that the Swedish military has arrived on the front lines and now they're pushing into Norway. Eventually they get dangerously close to the Norwegian capital city, but they're eventually stalemated. Up in the north, we can see that the Swedish military is making some significant gains against the Norwegians, but most of these areas are useless and they're also pretty mountainous. But yeah, the Swedish military was able to take all of these northern parts, and yet another Swedish military arrives on the front lines, and eventually they push in and capture Oslo. And after the fall of their capital city with some major cities, we can see that Norway goes ahead and surrenders. Now, was it a too easy surrender? I guess so, but that's mainly because Sweden is now a very powerful country, way more powerful than they were before. And in a peace negotiation, we can see that all of Norway got completely annexed by the Swedish Empire. Now, a lot of countries near Sweden are worried about their safety, and countries like Finland and Germany are now also militarizing their countries because they really don't like the aggression shown by the Swedish Empire. So now Sweden is looking pretty buffed, but they still want to expand and they want to invade some more countries. And as I said, they had built their navy, and because they had built their navy, now they declare war on Iceland. I think this is a sort of Scandinavian union. I mean, we have countries like Denmark, Sweden, and of course Norway. But yeah, now the Swedish navy is on its way, and eventually they make a landing in the southern parts of Iceland. And because most of the population is over here, we can see that the Swedish army was able to take all of these parts, and eventually they also take the capital city. And now they push in from all sides, and they eventually capture all of Iceland. Later on, we can see that Iceland got completely annexed by the Swedish Empire, and now the Swedish Empire is looking forward to declare war on another country who just got their independence. I mean, the reason why they invaded Iceland was because they wanted to get to that country. And if you still don't get it, they wanted to declare war on the new country of Greenland. And does Greenland have an army or any military? No, they absolutely don't have anything. And now we can see that the Swedish navy from Iceland is moving towards Greenland, and eventually they make a landing in the southern parts of Greenland, and now they're following the coastline. And we can see that the Swedish army was able to take the capital city of Greenland, but they still push around and capture more and more regions. But basically these were all the main parts of Greenland, and there is literally nothing up here. So the remaining parts of Greenland just go ahead and surrender. And in a peace treaty, we can see that the southern parts of Greenland were completely annexed by the Swedish Empire, and the northern parts are now a vassal state to the Swedish Empire. And so far, this is all the progress that Sweden has made, and they probably have one of the best kings and the best generals. I mean, it should be monarchy, so yeah, they have a king. But now they are finally ready for a major invasion, and this invasion will be of Finland. Now, Finland does have 1 million reserve troops, so it's not an easy thing to invade Finland. But yeah, let's see. In the beginning though, we can see that the Finnish troops are now pushing into Sweden, and now they're following the coastline. They also push in from the northern parts, and they cut off this region, which goes ahead and then surrenders. And now we can see that the Finnish troops are pushing in from all sides. This is mainly because Sweden is taking their time to prepare for a war, and it seems like they're not fully prepared. But yeah, eventually though, the Finnish troops are now stalemated, and 3 Swedish militaries arrive on the front lines. These armies are now pushing back the Finnish troops. All of these armies combined are now making some significant progress, and the Finnish troops are now unable to push back the Swedish troops. Eventually though, we can see that the Swedish troops are now pushing into Finland. This army divides into 2 parts, who go around and encircle all of the Finnish troops over here, and this was a huge loss for Finland, but they pretty much lost half of their military over here. And now 1 major Swedish army is pushing down the coastline. The Swedish navy also make a naval landing on the coast, and with the fall of Helsinki, we can see that Finland finally goes ahead and surrenders. And in a peace treaty, we can see that all of the northern parts of Finland were completely annexed by the Swedish Empire. And the Swedish Empire also managed to get this part of Finland. And yeah, this is the Swedish Empire at its peak. So yeah, this is gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. Thank you for watching.